Thank you for joining us on the CBS Texas News Stream. We are following breaking, developing news. I am Danica Hill here. We are expected to learn in any moment new details outside of Galveston, where police arrested a Dallas man accused of kidnapping a 12-year-old girl who was then found in a motel just hours after being reported missing. What we know so far is police arrested a man, 27-year-old Graham Dunn, on Friday on aggravated kidnapping charges, and police said more charges are expected to come. Now, Galveston police say they are set to hold a press conference again this morning in just a couple of minutes about what actually happened. But here's the details that we do know, and you can see him on your screen right now. According to court documents, the girl told investigators that Dunn forced her into his car as she was walking her dog around 7 o'clock on Friday. She says that he took her to a hotel, gave her pills that made her feel, quote, woozy, touched her sexually, and recorded it on his phone. Her family then alerted police when she did not come back home with the dog. Police pinged her phone to that hotel. They say they forced entry into Dunn's room around 10:30 p.m. that same night after he refused to open the door. Officers were able to make their way inside. Now, we do know the conditions in which both him and that victim were found, but we are going to spare you those details, at least here on the stream. But we do know that that victim was rescued safely. Now, records show that there were 3 separate women who accused Dunn of crimes in North Carolina just last year. And at the time of his arrest on Friday, he was actually out on bond on a sexual battery and secret peeping charges, while also fighting a false impersonation charge. The Dallas County Sheriff's Office also has confirmed that he has a warrant out for insufficient bond from a family violence case. Now, as I mentioned, that press conference is getting ready to happen right now, and I believe they actually are walking up. We do have affiliates down there that are streaming this for us, and so we want to go ahead and start to listen in.
Galveston Police Department, Chief of Police. Called everyone here today to discuss a case that began for us on September 30th at about 9 p.m. We received a report of a missing juvenile. The juvenile, the little girl, was out walking her dog, something that she typically does and should be able to do. At some time after she had left home, she was encountered by Graham Dunn. Mr. Dunn pulled up to her location in a vehicle. He got out of his car and forced her into his vehicle. Mr. Dunn then fled the area. Our responding officers went out and began investigating this case. They quickly learned from an emergency ping that her phone, the child's phone, was in the area of the 8700 block of Seawall Boulevard. Officers responded to that area and began searching. Assisting agencies also came out. Galveston County Sheriff's Office, Texas Parks and Wildlife, University of Texas Medical Center Police Department, as well as Texas Department of Public Safety. In a very short period of time, 3 drones were deployed in search of the child, and a Department of Public Safety helicopter was on scene searching for the child. One of our officers, Officer Nino, responded to the hotel and attempted to, a hotel that was in the 8700 block of Seawall Boulevard, and attempted to view surveillance video. He was unable to access it. Employees were unable to access it. Refusing to give up on that, he was persistent that someone get on location. Thankfully, due to his persistence, He was able to view the surveillance video, and it was clear that the child had been brought inside of the hotel and was accompanied by Graham Dunn. Officers forced entry into the hotel room and recovered the child and arrested Dunn. I cannot thank our partners enough for coming out and assisting us with our efforts to save this child and recover her and return her to her parents. You will hear shortly from Detective Dominguez, who is the lead on this case, of just how much of a monster this person is. I'm grateful that our officers and everyone involved, all the other agencies involved, acted quickly and with urgency to save this child. I'm going to turn it over now to Detective Dominguez so he can fill you in on his investigation and what he has learned through investigation.
Thank you, Chief. Yes, sir. Good morning, Detective Hector Dominguez with Galveston PD. Shadowing what Chief Bailey said, I would like to commend all the involved agencies. It was a cohesive unit, collaborative unit. Everyone jumped on task and was trying to find the missing 12-year-old child who later determined was abducted. But I'd like to commend officers involved, and specifically Officer Nino. If it weren't for his persistence, we would not have located the victim in the timely manner in which we did. Investigating this offense has resulted in 3 felony charges against Graham Michael Dunn. There is 1 count of aggravated kidnapping, sexual assault, with a bond of $500,000. There is 2 charges for aggravated sexual assault of a child, which were requested for no bond hearings. In a review of Dunn's criminal history, it revealed that he's a serial sexual offender with multiple confirmed arrests, pending charges in several states, and active investigations still going. These states include Texas, Massachusetts, North Carolina, Kentucky, and Louisiana. Investigators across these multiple states quickly identified Graham following media coverage of his arrest here in Galveston, and felt compelled to reach out to us and relay that although there was no adjudication, conviction, they wanted to forward their investigations involving the sexual offenses that he was involved in their states, and that was released to us. Again, these investigators felt compelled because they identify him all as a serial sexual predator with both adult and juvenile victims who has potential to do harm. They further advise that Dunn has absconded prosecution in their states, fled states to avoid court proceedings, and continues to offend even while out on bond or probation. I'd like to commend those agencies for reaching out to us as well, forwarding the information. They didn't have to, but they felt compelled enough because they identify him to be a serial sexual predator.
Thank you, sir. We will now turn it over to Galveston County District Attorney Ken Cusick.
Morning. I'm Kenneth Cusick, last name C-U-S-I-C-K. I've only been in this job for 4 months. I was appointed by Governor Abbott, but I can tell you right now, justice has arrived, and this man will get the full measure of justice. I've been a prosecutor for 37 years, and this is one of the most disgusting situations I've heard of. But I am so happy that the collaborative effort of law enforcement in this area, state and local, were able to rescue that young lady. But I can tell you right now, it starts with the charges he's facing, the bond set. There's no bond on others. We are pursuing no bond. If there was ever a clear and convincing evidence or depiction of a person that should not have bond pending trial, it's Mr. Dunn. With the history of things that have gone on in other states, the fact that he's on bond, similar type of conduct, and then attempts this in Galveston, there's no question this person should be locked up pending trial. Ravani's innocent until proven guilty, but my office is going to, with the evidence we have, we're going to get a conviction on him one or all of those charges, and we're going to seek maximum sentence. There should be no leniency for somebody like this that's proven again and again that they're a sexual predator. They're preying not only on women, but girls. This is not going to be tolerated in this county, and it starts with the bond decision. I want no bond. I've instructed my prosecutors who are handling the case to appeal the bond decision and to seek no bond on all the charges. Thank you.
I want to be very clear about this. This family, this victim, did nothing wrong. This is not a case of poor parenting. This is not a case of where any fault at all should lie upon the victim and the family. They did everything right. Galveston is a safe community. You should be able to walk your dog. A child should be able to ride their bike, and we should be able to go outside and enjoy it. When someone crosses the bridge and comes to Galveston, we will defend it fiercely if you come here for wrongdoing. I pray, and on behalf of the Galveston Police Department and the city of Galveston, that the victim receives help in recovering from this ordeal. It was very traumatizing, and I'm so thankful that she is safe and home with her family. We'll open it up for questions.
Chief, let me ask you real quick here. Two things. One, was this would be considered a crime of opportunity, just happened to be in the area of Czar, or did in some previous context, say social media, mistaken identity, or anything at that point where it kind of knew where she would be in the area?
It is my understanding that that this sexual predator, Mr. Dunn, utilized a ruse through social media to lure the child.
And on top of that, too, how did he end up in Galveston? Because when you took the inspector was putting out his criminal record across, he's out on bond for a North Carolina thing where he attacked a 74-year-old woman. How did he end up in Galveston? Does anybody know how it is that it travels that he ended up here?
No, I speculate that he utilizes multiple forms of social media and utilizes that as a way to target.
Any specifics on which platform are used?
No, sir, and well, there is, but he was utilizing multiple, we believe, and because of this ongoing investigation and others in other states, I think it best right now to not reveal.
What's your advice to families when it comes to that kind of thing?
Absolutely, and that's a great question. My advice to families of young children is to monitor social media, turn off locations, be mindful of what your children are posting and who they are interacting with. Something as simple as Roblox has been found to be a place where child predators seek out victims. So I don't believe that there are any platforms that are truly safe. I think monitoring, talking to your children, and protecting them through consistent monitoring and being mindful and reminding them of people like Mr. Graham who are out there and seek to do them harm.
Maybe a question either for Hector or DA Cusick on talking about these other crimes. In his magistration hearing, he was telling the judge, I've only had misdemeanors, but given the list that you just gave out here about where he has had other cases, are any of those still pending?
Yes, sir. He's got
outside of the one in North Carolina.
He's got several in several states actually. Different states labeled different offenses, either by codes. There is 2 active investigations of sexual nature that are labeled a misdemeanor until taken to the court setting where the judge or whatever their process is. Sexual battery is one of them that's labeled a specific code, but then it either increases in severity. But several pending charges and several active investigations still ongoing as of today.
Any of those others involve minors? Because we know the one in North Carolina was a female.
I don't know very too much details specifically identifying, but he has confirmed minor victims, correct? Adult and minor victims.
And the two charges of sexual assault with a child here are related to 2 different instances with the same alleged victim.
Correct.
Do we know how long the suspect's been in the Galveston area and if he's had any prior Galveston police interactions?
Specifically to dates, short weeks, I would assume. I don't know the specific information regarding Galveston itself. In Texas for approximately 3 weeks, I believe.
Chief, we know there was kind of this, every law enforcement agency around, including the sheriff's office, all going and looking. That particular hotel, was there like a block camera picked up something, or that he was just going to check every hotel kind of starting on the west end and moving? How did that particular hotel get designated by the officer that went by to try to get the data?
The phone, the child's phone led us to that specific hotel. The location was actually slightly outside of the hotel. We believed possibly the phone was in a field, and began searching but it wasn't right on where it was. The phone was still with the child, and so that's what led us there. And thankfully for those officers that responded to that hotel, they were persistent and never gave up. And again, Officer Nino acted extremely commendably. It was amazing.
Nino, how long have you been on the force?
He's a transfer, a lateral officer, had experience elsewhere, and has been with us for about 2 years.
What do you know what his history was before? How long have you been in law enforcement?
I think approximately 7, 8 years or so. Very sharp, very talented, very hard-working man.
Through your investigation, have you identified any other either victims here locally that you might have had contact with before getting caught in this instance, or any potential that he was grooming locally for in the future?
We have no specific evidence of him acting in Texas prior to this. However, the investigation continues. It's ongoing, and we're going to turn over every stone that we possibly can to ensure that if that occurred, we know about it and extend the investigation to other agencies if need be.
DHC, if I can ask on this, because you're talking about the no bond. There's Senate Bill 9 that was passed this last legislative session that allows for tighter restrictions. Is that what you're applying here with this?
Yes, the statute fits that. And even if the statute, there wasn't a change in the law, the circumstances in this case are so overwhelming that it either should be a bond this man should never make or get no bond. The conduct speaks for itself.
And on just the secondary part of that here is that how is that process working out? Do you need to go before a judge and then like a observable bond hearing might take one way or another?
Yes, under this new, we're working through the protocol and procedures on this, but a bond was already set. But at this point, the case is set in the district court. It's set in, and we approach the court about modification of the bond or no bond.
But technically,
All right, and you could hear it there. They are wrapping up that press conference in Galveston. Reporters just asking questions around this arrest of a Dallas man down in the Galveston area who was found in a hotel room with a 12-year-old girl who had been reported missing by her family just a few hours before. So some of the information that we were able to pull from this press conference as it was happening live, we do know that initially, as I mentioned, the family did report this child missing. She was out walking her dog. At that time, they say that this man, Mr. Graham Dunn, had pushed this girl into the car. Now we do know from out of this press conference that police did ping her cell phone at this hotel down in Galveston, but they didn't know initially what room she was in. And so they say that's when they went back and started watching the surveillance video, which showed Dunn and that child going into a room. Now, we do know that he is facing multiple charges: one, aggravated assault against a kid, sexual assault against a child, at least 2 sexual assault charges against a child. Now, we're still trying to work and confirm. They did mention that those 2 sexual assault charges that he is facing potentially are from 2 separate incidences with this child. Now, the attorney general, or the detectives that were speaking in this, did go on record and say that this Mr. Dunn is a serial sex offender. That is the words that they use. They say he has charges out of Texas, Kentucky, Louisiana, North Carolina, and several other states, all dealing with this type of case, this sort of sexual violence. He said this all happens with both adults and juvenile victims. The district attorney down in Galveston also spoke during this press conference. He said he is pushing for the full amount of maximum punishment that he can get for this. He said he is looking for justice for not only this family, but all the other families that have been impacted by this. He also said that he is seeking for no bond in this case. That was a question that was brought up too. How was this man, having all of these prior incidences, allowed to even be out there? Another thing that came out of this, they reiterated several times, the chief of police out there, to check social media. So what we learned in this is that he used social media to lure this child in. It wasn't exactly clear on if they determined to meet a certain place while she was out walking the dog or exactly that, but they did reiterate that this all spiraled from social media. They would not go on record and say exactly which social media that this all happened on. They just said that he uses multiple platforms, urging families and everybody to continue to monitor your child's social media posts and those type of things and see who they are interacting with. They say that he has, again, a record with both minor and adult victims like this. They also did say that at this time there are no other situations that they're looking at within the state of Texas, but they did reiterate that this is an ongoing investigation and they are looking for more information if anybody else does have something that they want to come forward. So just in case you are joining us right now, here are the details that we know. A man from Dallas was arrested in Galveston last week after a young girl, a 12-year-old girl's family, reported her missing. And just a short time later, she was found in a hotel room with this man, Graham Michael Dunn. He was arrested in Galveston, but has charges spanning across the country for similar situations like this. And so police giving us an update this morning. The district attorney down in Galveston also saying that they are pressing for the maximum punishment for this, the maximum sentence, seeing that he has prior records across the country. Some of the other information that we did learn out of this press conference is that they were able to interact, him and this young 12-year-old girl, via social media. They say that this girl was out walking her dog, never came back home. The family alerted police. That's how they were able to find this hotel. That surveillance video then at the hotel led them to exactly which room that child and this man were in, and that's when he was arrested. We've got a lot of details to go through and sift through here, a lot of information coming out of this press conference today, but overall this is the new information, the new details that we have on this very developing story. If we get any more information, we will bring it to you here from the desk, but that is what we're looking at. We appreciate you for joining us and staying with us here on the CBS News Texas stream.